Welcome to the Jujutsu Kaisen 246 spoilers review. Yes, we are back and better than ever, but the format's gonna change a little bit because there are new leakers and they leak the chapters way earlier than Miyamura does. So I'm just gonna be talking about the chapter. I'm gonna be talking about what happens in sequence. You guys can choose to believe me or not, but you guys know I've never let you guys down. So with that being said, of course, if you guys enjoy content such as this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And now we are getting into it. So after Sukuna's slashes have rained down upon both Kusakabe and Higuruma, Higuruma talks about how he's basically lacking battle experience. He got caught off guard because he didn't know that his curse technique or domain expansion would react to the curse tool that way. So he's like, damn, I got caught off guard. And Yuji reacts to this, yelling for Higuruma. And finally, Kusakabe activates his new shadow style, Simple Domain, and this is obviously to tank the attacks better. For those who are unaware, this is primarily a battle chapter between Sukuna, Ino, Higuruma, Yuji, Kusakabe, and Choso. You get to see all these guys throw hands. With that being said, let's head on to the next part. So as everybody surrounds Sukuna, Sukuna points out that everybody's curse energy and their curse techniques have been drastically upgraded. So either all these characters are stronger than they usually are or were before this 1 month time skip, or something has buffed them for their current fight. And Sukuna also says that the simple domain that Kusakabe is able to use and probably these other characters decreases the output of his technique. It doesn't do as much to defend them as domain amplification would, but it still helps him there and it's a nuisance to him. So Kusakabe begins to say that thank God that wasn't the slash that divides the world. But he begins to point out that Sukuna must have used a binding vow or some kind of charge in order to make that technique have the ability to divide the entire world. He must have done something to amplify it. So Sukuna can't just willy-nilly throw these slashes out in the amount that he did towards Kusakabe and Higuruma. And then Kusakabe finally says that Sukuna can use dismantle or cleave, and we've heard this spiel about Sukuna's 2 slashes for the billionth time. I don't know why he's talking about it again. But I will point out that the interesting way that he speaks about it, I guess, is that he points out that these are attacks that will instantly end their lives. And he also brings up the fire that was used in Shibuya. But Kusakabe says that maybe he can't just use it right now. And he prays for this to be the case because they cannot handle it. It was able to eradicate Jogo, so it can eradicate them. That's what Kusakabe says. A lot of people are going to disagree, but that's what Kusakabe says. Higuruma begins to apologize, saying that, I'm sorry I got the death penalty, but the confiscation was applied to the cursed weapon. And Kusakabe says that's enough. The sword is the best solution they have to the fight, and thus they must rely on it. He's like, bro, I'm gonna protect you even if it costs my life. And then he stops and says, wait, hold up. Am I really gonna die here? I did say this, so I don't know. Kusakabe has a lot of funny lines in this chapter. Sukuna then just cuts them off and says, so you guys know how to guard, huh? So next, I'll be going for the legs. But before Sukuna can attack, Choso shoots a piercing blood at Sukuna. And Sukuna is able to just dodge it with ease, speed blitzing Choso and sending him flying with a punch, and Yuji screams for him. Yuji runs to catch his body, which he does, and then Ino comes in out of the sky with Nanami's sword. He looks tough with it, bro. He's got his mask on. No more random fodder mask, dude. He's got my respect, bro. And surprise, surprise, Nanami's blade has his curse technique still within it. And Sukuna says, it hits harder than I expected. That blunt blade, it has the 7-3 sorcerer's technique within it. So yes, Nanami's curse technique persists within its blade, and I'm sure that we will get an answer to this. As Ino blocks a punch from Sukuna, he says, damn, it's heavy. And after this, both Kusakabe and Yuji surround Sukuna, and they both go in for an attack, but Sukuna attacks Yuji, making Yuji block, whereas Kusakabe is able to strike Sukuna, but Sukuna easily dodges it. But it doesn't end there. Higuruma rolls off of Kusakabe's back, attempting to slash Sukuna, but Sukuna still dodges this. And the next action sequence is so fire. So Sukuna grabs Higuruma, and Higuruma grabs on Sukuna, attempting to fight back, so Sukuna chooses to throw him, not before punching him a couple of times though. And as Sukuna throws Higuruma, Yuji starts running towards Higuruma, screaming for him to not be left alone, but Sukuna is right on Yuji's case, even surpassing Yuji's speed by a far margin. And Yuji's like, holy shit, this dude is fast. And Sukuna catches up to Higuruma, and there's a massive explosion, and then we enter a flashback. So Yuji and Higuruma are discussing the plan to save Megumi, and Yuji asks Higuruma to explain his curse technique, and Higuruma goes on to explain it. He says that the death penalty will result in an executioner's blade being summoned. However, the blade is for the person who has been declared the death penalty, so it's unsure as to if somebody with multiple souls will be hit by the executioner's blade. In other words, what Higuruma is getting at is, the executioner's blade may not hit every soul within one's body, but just the soul of the person that should be dead. So Yuji and Higuruma's plan currently is revealed, and this plan to save Megumi is going to be to hit Sukuna with the executioner's blade, killing Sukuna and leaving Megumi. And with this plan to save Megumi being revealed, it's also revealed to us that Yuji was the one who asked Higuruma if he wanted to die. Those words that came up in the last chapter were said by Yuji. So yeah, Yuji begins to explain to Higuruma that you can't use reverse curse technique, yet you want to be put on the spot to fight Sukuna. And Higuruma's like, he's giving Yuji the talk that he did before he split up from him initially during the Golden game. Like, he's ditched the law, he's killed people, he's done horrible things. He just doesn't think that he should go back into society. And Yuji, despite hearing this, says, I don't know how to say this in the best way possible or even how to articulate myself here, but I think you should just go back. And Higuruma says, stop saying things that are not possible. We come back to Higuruma and we see that he's using domain amplification. Sukuna says he's neutralized my technique with it. And the narrator cuts in saying less than 2 months after he's awakened as a sorcerer, he's shown extraordinary growth, and this has fascinated Sukuna. And this confirms that Kenjaku and Sukuna are both interested in Higuruma as like a sorcerer, as a character, not only his blade. So again, I don't know what they doing. They probably gonna make him into the merger. We just have to see. There's something going on with Higuruma to where this is the only character in the series that has ever been shown interest by both of the antagonists. Every other character gets written off by one of the two. And you guys are not ready for this. The Executioner's blade shines once more, and the narration says, I kid you not, the prospect that can match with Gojo Satoru is shining. Everyone who has acknowledged him as the genius. Higuruma is whispering something, and there's no break next week. But that's a bombshell. Everybody's gonna lose their minds over it, I know. Higuruma has been confirmed to have like the same ceiling as Gojo. And I mean, I think a lot of these characters have that same ceiling deep down inside. We just have to see. But 2 months Higuruma, you know what I'm saying, he's different. This man is special grade level, whether we want to admit it or not. Anyways, with that being said, that's the spoilers, and I'll get into the analysis and breakdown of the chapter that you guys like per usual. If you want to see how that usually goes, check out my 245 review. People love it. I do too. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out. Have an amazing day. And for the third and last time, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Peace.